Alright, so in this problem you have solutions 2, square root of 5, and 3 plus 2i. So what you actually need is you need a negative square root of 5 because of the irrational conjugates theorem, and 3 minus 2i by the complex conjugate theorem. So what I have as my solutions is I'm going to go and put these in different colors. I have x minus 2, and then I have x minus square root of 5. Don't forget you need opposite signs when you're working with these. I'm going to go ahead and put the square root of 5s next to each other, and then I'm also going to put the x minus 3 plus 2i and x minus 3 minus 2i next to each other. So I'm going to work with the square roots first. Whenever I do that, I have x minus square root of 5 times x plus square root of 5. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is going to be negative 5. Don't forget the negative signs are going to the square root signs are going to cancel. And then square root of 5 times x is x square root of 5. I'm going to go ahead and put 0 as a placeholder, and then x times negative root 5 is negative x square root of 5. X times x is x squared. So I have x squared and then plus 0x minus 5. So that means I have x squared plus 0x minus 5. I'm going to go ahead and leave that placeholder there for now. And then this x minus 2 came down as is. And next I'm going to go ahead and work with the complex part. I'm erasing this so I have some more room. So I'm going to distribute this negative sign first. So I have x minus 3 minus 2i and x minus 3 plus 2i. Now when I do that, I have x minus 3 squared, and then I have negative 2i and positive 2i. Negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. I times I is I squared, which we previously established was negative 1. So here's what I have. And then this blue, x minus 2. So x minus 3 squared. We did that in a previous problem. So x minus 3 squared is actually x squared minus 6x plus 9. That says plus, I apologize. Sorry, that's supposed to be a 9. There we go. And then you have negative 4 times negative 1 is going to be positive 4. So that's going to give me x squared minus 6x plus 13, because I combined this 9 and 4 as like terms. So then x squared plus 0x minus 5 came down, and so did x minus 2. So now I'm at a point where I'm going to have to multiply. I'm going to erase up here just so I have space. If you need to, go ahead and pause the video to get all this written down. I just need some space. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do x squared minus 6x plus 13. I'm going to go ahead and multiply it by x squared minus 5. You don't need the 0x as a placeholder because it would just create a line of zeros, which we really don't need. So negative 5 times negative 13 is negative 65. And then I have negative 5 times negative 6x is 30x. I have negative 5 times x squared is negative 5x squared. Put my 0 term. Then x squared times 13x. Times 13 is going to be 13x squared. Make sure you line that up correctly, and I'll put a placeholder there for my 0x. X squared times negative 6x is negative 6x cubed. And then x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Going to go ahead and add those up. So I end up with x to the 4th minus 6x cubed plus, and then plus 8x squared plus 30x minus 65. All right, let's go ahead and write that down here. x to the fourth minus 6x cubed plus 8x squared plus 30x minus 65. And this x minus 2 is still here. So now I need to go ahead and multiply those two together. When I do that, once again, I'm going to erase, take a minute, pause, and write everything down if you need to. It's just a long problem. So let's give ourselves some space. Here we are. I'm going to do this in red so the colors don't get confusing. X squared, oops, sorry, that's x to the fourth. X to the fourth minus 6x cubed plus 8x squared plus 30x minus 65 times x minus 2. Negative 2 times negative 65 is 130. Positive. Negative 2 times times 30x is negative 60x. Negative 2 times 8x squared is negative 16x squared. Negative 2 times negative 6x cubed is 12x cubed. I'm going to go ahead and erase some more of this so I have some more room. And then negative 2 times x to the fourth is negative 2x to the fourth. Alright, then I have this x term, placeholder. So x times negative 65 is negative 65x. X times 30 is 30x squared. X times 8x squared is 8x cubed. X times negative 6x cubed is negative 6x to the fourth. X times x to the fourth is x to the fifth. Now I'm going to go ahead and add all these terms up. X to the fifth minus 8x to the fourth plus 20x cubed plus 14x squared, sorry it's no longer lined up, minus 125x plus 130. That is my final answer. I had 5 solutions to start. I had 5 solutions to start with up here. There were 3 more once you take the conjugates into account. And I ended with x to the fifth, exactly like I wanted.